All right, welcome to our daily analysis. And today being Tuesday, 4th of June, 2024. All right, and in this daily analysis, we're going to be looking at both the technical and the fundamental analysis and just have an overview of what the market is going to do today. All right, and I am no other person but Mr. Shadrach. I am the Forex trainer and financial analyst for DB Investing Nigeria. And so we are going to dive down into what we have for today, the technical and the fundamental analysis for today. All right, so first of all, we are going to look into the fundamental analysis. And of course, fundamental analysis is very key for your understanding of the financial market. Is that okay? It's very key, your understanding of the financial market, because once you understand the fundamentals, which is the reason behind the movement in the market, you can actually predict what's the next move of the market, because it is a fundamental that actually drives market sentiment. All right, and the market sentiment causes the move. Is that okay? Now, if you look at today's economic calendar, we only have two major impact news, okay, which are the Swiss franc, the CPI for Swiss franc, and then the job opening for the US dollar. All right, for the US dollar. And looking at this, you will discover clearly that the CPI month over month for the Swiss franc was done at 7:30 a.m. GMT +1. But I am concerned with this particular job opening for the US dollar. Of course, you know that the US dollar is the major factor in the financial market. It is actually what causes the market to bubble, right? So if any day that the USD has a bank holiday, you see that the market is just quiet. Nothing is really happening in the market. So it is the major factor. It is the influencer. What is actually going on in the market is all caused by the US dollars. All right, so that is why I'm interested. You have to put your eyes more on major impact news that has to do with the USD. Now, so today by 3 p.m., we have a major impact news, which is the job opening. I'm going to do a chronological connection between the job opening, our ADP data, and the unemployment claim, and how it can help us to predict the NFP on Friday, because this has to do with the employment sector or the labor market. Is that okay? Now, the job opening, if you look at our data, the previous was 8.4 million, and then the forecast is currently 8.37 million. So if we have an actual that is a bit better than the forecast, then we are expecting the US dollars to strengthen. All right, it tells us that there is more job opportunities, okay, because the job opening tells us about the employment opportunities that are made available. All right, and if it is increasing or if it is declining. And of course, if it is increasing, it means that the labor sector is doing well. All right, and of course, if the labor sector is doing well, it affects every other area, because someone who is working and is earning salary, all right, can actually live well, can actually pay its bills, and then can buy stuff in the supermarket. And so retail sales is also going to be affected positively. So that is why it's very key. So investors look into these data to know whether to invest their money in relation to that particular economy or not. Is that okay? So it's very key data that we must look into. So that is about the job opening. So I said, let's look at it in connection to ADP data that is going to be released tomorrow, and then the unemployment claim that is going to be released on Thursday. And then, so when we marry these three together, we can now tell what is going to happen in the NFP. Now, if the job opening today comes up positive, for instance, and then the ADP data tomorrow, ADP tell us about the estimated number of people that are employed in the US economy, excluding the farm industry. That is why it is called the ADP. It's an estimated value. Now, if ADP happens to be positive also, and the job opening today also is positive, then we will begin to have a positive mind concerning the NFP on Friday, that NFP probably will also be positive. Then if by Thursday, our unemployment claim also comes out positive, that is the number of people that are filling for the unemployment benefit form, it reduces, then it gives us a greater confidence that NFP is probably going to be positive. All right. But if the unemployment claim increases, the job opening drops. There's going to be a negative feeling that NFP may not likely be positive on Friday. So these data are very key because they serve as a point to understand or as a leading indicator that, look, this is what is going to happen in the market on Friday. All right. So that is it. Now let's see the aspect of the technical analysis. We have looked at the fundamental, and then let's go into the technical and see what the market will do. All right. So let's see the technical. Now, on looking at the technical analysis, we are going to look at gold, for instance. First of all, let's look at gold. Now, you could see that gold is actually bouncing on a trend line support. Okay, this on the trend line support. The overall directional bias or direction of gold is on a buy move. All right, but it does do some trend line based on our 1 hour time frame. You could see that gold is respecting this our trend line support level. Now, but again, there is a minor resistance, trend line resistance here that gold is also expecting, ranging at this point. Now, gold is actually going to range, all right, because it is going to wait for the data by 3 p.m. to determine its direction. So the movement gold is going to be doing here is going to be peaking around this point, okay? It might even perhaps maybe break this point, just revolve around this zone, all right, but may not have a major direction, pending when the data is released by 3 p.m. because the 3 p.m. data, job opening, is going to determine that the next move of gold, whether gold is going to from here drove down to test our demand zone 3, or from here push up, break this our trend line, break our supply zone 2 to move on to this particular point. This movement in gold is going to be determined by the news by 3 p.m. So that's why right now, what you will see in gold is that fine, gold came up from this point, this zone, it moved up, test out our trend line resistance, drop again to test our trend line support. Okay, it's just ranging up and down, up and down, up. Okay, and here we can also see that gold is at a fix. Okay, it's under pressure, waiting for a breakout. But gold will do nothing. Just watch it. It will do nothing until our news is released. So it's going to wait for the USD news to determine its direction. That is what is going to happen. So if the news comes up positive in favor of the US dollar, then I'm expecting gold to drop down, break this our demand zone, and push down further to demand zone 3. But if the news comes up negative, then dollar is going to be weakened more. Then I'm expecting gold to push up, break our trend line resistance here, break even our supply zone, and then push on to supply zone 1. So that's my analysis for gold for today. And so we should watch out for this movement by 3 p.m. today. Now let's push on to the next asset we're going to look into, and that is going to be Euro USD. All right, so let's look at Euro USD. Let's see. Now, looking at Euro USD, you will notice something, okay? That for Euro, this is what happens. All of these assets are actually maintaining a trend line support level. So because they have been on an uptrend, okay, in a bi-directional movement. Now, if you watch clearly, if you see the euro came, bounce on this point, push up again, and then pushes up again. And then here, this was what happened. Okay, all of this move took place yesterday, and then boom, it went. All right. And then if you watch clearly, this particular point now, this market broke our demand zone. It went up and then it has broken down below our demand zone of 1.08845, demand zone 6. And then, so this particular zone has been broken. Is that okay? Now, I'm expecting this particular market to dove down to come and retest this zone or our trendline support level. Okay, and then push up again. But again, since it's a USD pair, it is also going to wait. Investors, the bulls or the bears, will be waiting. They are all waiting for the data that is going to be released by 3 o'clock. So if that data is positive, that is strengthening the US dollar, what is going to happen here is that from its point, okay, this market will go further downwards to come and hit our demand zone 5 and probably break it to come and hit our demand zone 4. Is that okay? So that's what is going to happen. I'm expecting it to move further till it will find retest on this our trendline zone. And this will happen if our job opening is positive. That is, it will strengthen the US dollar. But if it doesn't, what I'm expecting to happen is that this market will push further, okay, and then come to test our supply zone at supply zone 0 here. That is what is going to happen. So here, I'm expecting the market to just be consolidating, ranging, not having a major move, okay? It might do a little spiking up, but all it will be doing, it will be waiting for the news at 3, GMT +1. Is that okay? So that is my bias. So the news is going to be the determining factor of the next move in the market. If it comes up positive, as I've earlier said, if it comes up positive, I'm expecting this move to push down, okay, to come and test our trend line support level. But if it doesn't, I'm expecting this move to push up, retest there, break it, and probably come up to test our supply zone 0. So that is that for Euro USD. So let's go ahead with the next move in the market. Let's look at GBP USD. Let's look at GBP USD. All right, nice. So this is GBP USD. So let's see the move GBP USD is about to make. Now, if you watch this clearly, you can see that GBP USD actually respected our supply zone here. All right, it moved, test our supply zone here this morning, and then from here begin to drop. All right, so I'm expecting it here. It might drop, maybe test our trend line support. You can see that all of these assets are on a trend line support system because they have been on an uptrend. Is that okay? So it's on the trend line support, and that is what I'm expecting it to do. Probably it might push down further to come and test this our trend line support. But the market, the volatility in the market right now will be slow. Why? I mean, why is this so? Because they will be waiting for the news at 3. Okay, so if the news at 3 comes up positive, because I told us that we are going to talk about the synergy between the fundamental and the technical. Is that okay? How they flow together. So if the news at 3 comes up positive, it is strengthening the US dollar. So that means that this sell, it has begun, we go further to come and test on this our zone, and we break it further to go down. Is that okay? And we break it further to go down, okay, to this particular level. Is that okay? But if the what's it called isn't, all right, if it is not, it may from this point push on to test our supply zone 2 again, and then down to our supply zone 1. Okay, so that is the move. So what is going to be the determining factor is the news at 3, GMT +1. Okay, so that is that of the British pound. Now let's look at the GBP JPY. Let's look at GBP JPY. Now, GBP JPY, let's see. Let's see GBP JPY. All right. For GBP JPY, we have this. Now, this is what I'm saying for GBP JPY. Now, GBP JPY actually respected our zone. Okay, yeah, it respected our zone. This zone, this supply zone was respected. Mind you, it is also on a trendline support, but now it has broken our trendline support, went downwards, break our demand zone, okay, at 198.827. And I'm expecting it to pull down to come and test our zone 3, demand zone 3. All right. But now, if you watch clearly, we have a minor support level here. That is what it respected. Do you notice that? That is what it respected. So we are expecting this market, okay, at this point juncture here. Now, at this juncture, what is going to happen that this particular asset is also waiting for the news, okay? Because the pound yen, all right, is also influenced by the USD news. Now, if the US dollar is empowered, this market will dove downwards. But if the US dollar weakens, this market will push upward from here. All right? Because right now, it is at a support level, okay? It's at a 1 hour support level here. So the market, you can see, is just at this particular juncture. So this point will determine, the news will determine whether this from this point it will push up further or it will drag downwards. All right. So we have all eyes on the Jolt job opening. You see, I am doing the analysis with respect to the fundamental, what we have, and how that fundamental is going to influence the asset, okay, we are looking at. So that is it about the, but technically speaking, I'm expecting GBJPY to drive down to demand zone 3, and if it breaks it, to push further to demand zone 2, technically speaking. That is, if you are looking, taking our eyes off the news, what we are expecting. We're expecting a bearish movement. All right. So that is that about GBP JPY. Is that okay? And finally, we are going to look at the last asset, which is WTI. WTI oil. Sorry. WTI. All right. So this is WTI. Now, I love what oil did. I love what oil did. Is that okay? Let me clear these drawings. Now, see, this is what oil did. Can you see? Now, oil has been in a actually a downtrend, sincerely. Okay, it has been under very strong downward pressure. Is that okay? And here, we are expecting that, okay, from this juncture, it might pull upward, okay? But it never did, okay? We're expecting to pull up, or it never did. Rather, it broke this our trend line support and is headed to this our demand zone here at demand zone 171.411. From this zone, I'm expecting the oil to retrace back, all right, to either this level, okay, because if you watch very well, there's a gap. You see the gap, all right? So it might retrace to fill this gap, probably. That's what I'm expecting it to do, and then drive down again. That's what I'm expecting oil to do, okay? So it might retrace to fill this gap and then drop down again, all right? And if you watch clearly, from here, you could see that oil is already, from our RSI, is already oversold, all right? So any moment from here, but I'm expecting to still push down further to come and test this zone. Then from here, I'm expecting a retracement back to this our trend lines resistance to fill this gap it has created here. And then from here, we are expecting it to drop down. So that is my analysis and anticipation for WTI. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for this wonderful time you've spent listening to our daily analysis. And I wish you a wonderful, peaceful day. Remind you, our news is coming up by 3 p.m. GMT +1, and that is going to be the determining factor, okay, in the market today. I believe that this will help guide you to do a very wonderful trading, okay, in the market. Thanks once more again. And remember, this is brought to you by DB Invest. And you can join us by going to our website, www.dbinvesting.com. Thank you so very much, and bye-bye.